what's up, guys? This is Marseille, aka the Property Pastor, coming at you with another great video. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about mindset, and I run into a lot of people who are struggling to achieve their goals. They're struggling to launch their real estate business. They're struggling to grow it. And I wanted to just kind of give you a surefire formula to help you, right? And we're going to cover a few areas today. We're going to talk about goal setting. We're going to talk about making plans. We're going to talk about taking action. We're going to talk about measuring what you do, and we're going to talk about adjusting what you do. And these are things that I've used in my business, in my own personal life, and they've just had great results for me. They've helped me to grow my portfolio, grow my business, to be more effective. So I wanted to share those things with you. And we're going to kind of go over those 5 areas during this video. But before we jump into it, I want to remind you to like and subscribe to this channel. We are dropping new videos for you, every single week to help you in your journey. But today I'm excited because I can't wait to share with you what's helped me through the course of reading books, through the course of, just trial and error. And I wanted to give you those kind of things because like I said, if you are struggling to really launch in your business, you're struggling to gain traction, there are different videos that we produce for mindset. And today we're going to really dig into the mindset aspect of being productive and growing your business. So like I mentioned earlier, those areas are goal setting. They are developing plans, taking action on those plans, measuring your results, and then adjusting in what you do. And if you do those things consistently, you will be successful. I have no doubt about it. It's helped me tremendously in my journey through real estate and through other ventures of life. But I want to just kind of go into them. So let's talk first about goals. I believe that everybody needs goals. And a wise man once said that goals are just a dream with a deadline. And if your dreams don't really have deadlines, they don't have, hard fixed dates that you want to achieve them, they're not specific, those kind of things, they're not really going to get you very far, right? They're just pie in the sky type of things. But I think it's important that you set goals. And for me, those goals are 1-year goals. They may be 3-year goals, 5-year goals, 15, so on and so forth. But I like to write my goals down every single day and review them regularly. And what I have found when I write them down and I review them, my mind starts to just create ideas and ways to get them done. And then, they call it the law of attraction, and through those things, setting goals, right? Opportunities start to come. People start to come into your circle, deals start to come and things like that. So first step is write your goals. Write them down when you want to achieve them. Like I said, 1 year, 3-year, 5-year, and even 10-year goals, those are critical, right? If you know what your financial independence number is, write that down. I've got my FI number defined. I know what it's going to take for me to get out of the rat race, how much passive income I want to earn every month, how many houses I want to achieve, I want to buy, how many bird deals I might want to do, how many mentorships, all those kind of things, and then also what do I want to do to give back? For me, my goals involve real estate, my goals involve my family, my goals involve community, ministry, all of those kind of things. Write them down every single day and review them frequently. So that's the first thing. Goals are number one. But number two, you need plans. You need a plan, right? So a goal can be, kind of vague sometimes. But a goal should be specific. But a plan really shows you how you're going to achieve that goal. And I always like to tell people to work backwards. So, for example, one of my goals is I want to have, 12 rental houses. So in that goal of 12 rental houses, my plan is going to be what are the specific steps I need to make to achieve that. So some of the things that I try to do is I like off-market deals. So I've got to master negotiation. I've got to master creative financing. I've got to master, lead generation. I've got to master rehabs. So the plans, right? I know I need to send out X amount of pieces of mail, touch this many, talk to this many potential sellers in a given time frame. That might be weeks or per given month or even per day. And plans are critical. You have to make plans because without a plan, it's unlikely you're going to achieve your goal, right? So making a specific plan that tells you day by day, hour by hour, even minute by minute, what you ought to be doing is very critical. And that plan and those goals, they help keep you focused because we live in a very distracted world. But here's what I've learned. We all have the same amount of time. There's 1,440 minutes in a given day. And you have the same amount of time that Albert Einstein had. You got the same amount of time that Martin Luther King had. You had the same amount of time that Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Grant Cardone. You got the same amount of time as Brandon Turner, anybody, right? You got the same amount of time. But how do you use that time, right? So plans, right? Realizing the things and the steps that I need to take, the things that I need to learn, that I need to master are really important. For me, I really committed to, a plan of just massive learning, education. I got to read an hour, a minimum of an hour a day. And what I started doing is on my phone, right? There's different things that tells you how much time you spend on certain apps. So for me, I would recommend you either cut off, Facebook and Instagram and all these kind of things, delete the app, right? Or set limits on them. Right now mine are set, I get 15 minutes, 15 minutes a day for social networking, and a lot of the time it's just posting, right? So I don't have time to scroll and look at cat videos because I've got goals and I've got plans I'm trying to achieve. So making a plan and executing that plan are critical. So number one, you gotta have goals. Number two, you gotta set a plan, right? What are the specific things and actions that you need to take in order to achieve your goals, right? So if I'm going to publish YouTube content, I've got to create it. I've got to interview, I've got to find and, materials that's going to benefit you guys, right? Those are the plans to achieve my given goals. But then the third thing is action. You got to take action. You can write goals down, you can recite them every morning, you can develop plans, but if you never take action, you're not going to get very far. I just finished reading a really good book that I would highly recommend you guys read. It's called The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. Phenomenal book. Great book, right? Because what this book talks about is that you basically have 5 seconds to decide whether or not you're going to do something. And the book goes into the whole concept of the snooze button. When we wake up early during the day, our most productive times, goes into procrastination. And one of the things it tells through the book is that basically you've got 5 seconds before your mind talks you out of doing something. And it just hit home as I read it, because there's a lot of times where, I've been getting ready to call somebody, or getting ready to approach a seller, or getting ready to call a potential lead. And in 5 seconds, I've actually talked myself out of it and never tried, right? But in it, right, she talks about when you have something that you feel in your gut you should do, basically you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you just go, right? You say in 5, you just count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you just go. Because in that time, your brain is just triggering action, right? And you don't give yourself an option. And it talks about the first thing you do is in the snooze button. Don't hit the snooze button. But when you wake up, just get up, right? You give yourself, if you feel like you're ready to hit the snooze button, count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then go, right? It talks about moving your alarm clock across the room and different things like that. But just a phenomenal book. But you have to take action. And sometimes we get stuck in analysis paralysis. Sometimes we get stuck in procrastination. And I think, one of the things that really stuck with me, aside from the 5-second rule, is also the fact that we overestimate what we can do in a year. We overestimate what we can do in a year, but we underestimate what we can do in 5 years. And continual, constant action over time compounds, right? I love compound interest, because the thing about compound interest is that my earnings, right, create more earnings, and then those earnings create further earnings. Well, it's the same thing with learning. It's the same thing with time. And as you begin to invest and take action on your goals and take action on your plans, they start to compound, right? My learning process multiplied rapidly between year number 1 and year number 2 in real estate investing. And one of the reasons is that I kept taking action, right? The things, if you've got a growth, and I'll talk about mindset as well, right? So one of the big pieces about taking action and learning is having a growth mindset and not a fixed mindset, right? So let me tell you the difference about those, right? So a growth mindset looks at it as at anything, any challenge, and says, okay, today I don't know how to do this. It's hard. I don't know how to do this contract. I don't know how to negotiate a lease option. I don't know how to do, how to record anything down in my locality. I don't know how to pull permits. I don't know how to work with contractors. And a lot of times what we do, I don't know how to analyze deals. And what we do is, if we have a fixed mindset, we say, well, I'm just not good at those things. But what a growth mindset does is, a growth mindset looks at it and says, today I'm not good at it, but you know what? I'm going to break it down. I'm going to learn it. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to surround myself with people. I'm going to immerse myself in this information, right, until I master it, because that's a growth mindset. Even if I fail, right, I believe that there's no losses. There's just lessons. So if I fail at something, I didn't really lose. I just learned, and the thing about a growth mindset is like, basically, okay, I did this deal. It was terrible. I lost money on it, right? Did a flip, did a bird, didn't go well. A fixed mindset says I should never do another one. But a growth mindset says, you know what, let me at it. I'm going back at it again. So action is critical, guys. You really got to get to the place of taking action, because action is where your growth takes place. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? So I think that's one of the big things about being an investor, is that you got to really look at it and say, what actions did I take today, this hour, this minute, to grow my business, to develop who I am as a person, right? To develop who I am as an investor, right? So take action. But then on top of it, don't just take action, but measure and evaluate yourself, right? So how did I do against my plan? And then how effective were my actions? One of the things I like to do is just kind of reflect, right? And I kind of look back on, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? What do I want to change going forward? And every time you learn, every time you measure yourself, there is a feedback that's given that you can adjust. And one of the things I like about wholesalers when I talk to them is that they record their phone calls, and they get on the phone with potential sellers, and they look at what they did wrong. And they're like, okay, how do I get better next time? How do I better negotiate? How do I give the seller more options? How can I better market my deals, right? Until you start to measure what you're doing, until you start to evaluate it, you can't make changes. Now, the thing that we can do is we can take a lot of action, but that action be not effective. It can be inefficient action. So if you're actually measuring yourself, how many pieces of mail did I send out for that direct mail campaign? Did I follow up? Did I use my CRM and follow up with more people? Did I offer on X amount of properties? Did I offer too much? Did I offer, not enough? Why did I lose that deal? What would I do different next time? All of those things are important in terms of measurement. And then the last thing is adjust, right? So after you measure, you must adjust and implement the things that you learned from your previous lesson. In doing those things, right, you'll get better every single time. I think that's one of the big pieces. We spend so much time distracted that we're not really evaluating ourselves. We're not really looking at what we're doing, and we're not really growing. I think that growth is critical. And I know today I am a much better investor than I was, 2 years ago. But it's because, I'm utilizing these systems. And utilizing systems, building systems into your business, realizing what you did wrong, making adjustments from your measurements, and implementing them, right? But over time, you will grow. Experience is a phenomenal teacher, right? It is a phenomenal teacher, but you got to go through those steps, right? So you got to go through goal setting. You got to go through review those goals. You got to go and plan, right? What are the specific things you need to do today to grow your business? Don't underestimate what you can do in 5 years. Don't overestimate what you can do in one. Gyms make billions of dollars because people overestimate what they can do in a year, right? They think in a year they're going to lose 125 pounds. They try to take this massive action instead of changing their diet, and over the course of 2, 3, 4, or 5 years, making a life change, right? So basically, like I said, set goals, develop plans, take action. After you take action, measure what you're doing, and then make changes, adjust, right? Adjust. So those are the things I want to give you guys from a mindset perspective. If you do those things, you will succeed. Stay the course, keep pushing, keep fighting, keep grinding. You will get there, right? So I'm cheering for you from my side. I hope you're cheering for me, praying for you and your family. Stay safe during the pandemic. And, if you guys got questions for me, make sure you drop them in the comment section. I'm here to help you grow your business, help you to be successful in the things that you set out to do. God bless you. Love you guys so much. Again, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share this video with somebody who needs to hear it. Love you guys. God bless you. Can't wait to see you again. Take care.